I'd like to invite Bill Yarrow to read next. Bill Yarrow is professor of English at Joliet Junior College and the author of Pointed Sentences by Blaze Vox last year. His poems have appeared in many print and online magazines, including Pink, Poetry International, Diagram, and Thrush. His work is forthcoming in Many Mountains Moving, Blue 5 Notebook, and Rhino, and he is poetry editor at This Literary Magazine. Bill Yarrow, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to read a few poems from Pointed Sentences. This first poem is called The Grave of Rimbaud. I visited the grave of Rimbaud. It was pale blue, like the blood of a baby penguin. Upon its headstone were designs, beautiful and mysterious, like the brainwaves of deer. I touched the grave and found it redemptive, like the law forbidding adultery. I thought I was alone, but I was in the midst of a vast crowd, hissing like poisonous snakes on fire. I'd imagined the grave of Rimbaud standing out from its field like a single candle in a cake. The grave itself was small, attic, quiet as a king at the end of his reign. Around the grave, the grass was burned, gray and stiff, like the lips of lovers who no longer kiss. I sat by the grave and felt at home, like bigotry in the hearts of men of God. Then darkness settled over the grave, sentimentally, like a kitten on the neck of a man. I left the grave and returned to Marseille, aligned like a knife in Adam's apple. This one is called It's Like. It's like sewing a rip in your jeans with garter snakes instead of thread. It's like watching a Russian film with the ghost of Ronald Reagan. It's like squeezing 3-bean salad out of a toothpaste tube. It's like driving from Detroit to Denver in a cardboard car. It's like swimming in Malox. It's like eating drywall. It's like drawing with cesium. It's like interviewing a neutrino. It's like French kissing a shaman. It's like reading Mal Flanders in Urdu. It's like fact-checking Joseph Arimathea. It's like changing the colostomy bag on a Berkshire pig. It's like digging a tunnel to Trenton with your mother's tongue. This one is called Ribs. Man reached into the carcass of the Lord and tore Satan from the rib of God. The mountains of humility went silent. The rain of regency dried its eyes, and the clouds of unknowing began to know. Snow masquerading as kindness ballooned into bombast as the world washed its hands of worldliness. Then, indifference, stiff as a wombat penis, stirred and woke from the dream of cascading penury. I am imbricated by the slabs of dead ideas. I am teased by vaults of no gold. Ghosts hold me to votes I disavow. There is a formidable hole in the latent sky. It takes all my strength not to worship it. This one is called florid psychosis, which is a technical term, but I just find it extremely poetic.
What does it mean?
It means completely out of your mind.
Gotcha.
Okay.
More than a vegetable.
Florid psychosis. On the advice of a friend, I've stopped dreaming. As a result, I've developed a florid psychosis in which everything I've dreamed for the last 33 years is now real. I have new friends, a new job, my dead relatives have all come back, I'm half my weight, have all my hair, reside in Prague. It's February 1924. Kafka won't die until June. Freud, 67. He's just published The Ego and the Id. My superego refuses to read it. Lottie Reininger is working on the cutouts for Prince Ahmed. I bought a radio embroidered with pearls. I tuned it to the future, but it only plays the sleepy past. And this one is called Four Noble Lies. Noble Lies. Oh, that's good. When Carlotta left me, I cried into my soup. I shriveled into harsh mathematics. A decade later, I was living on Iowa Street with Karen. She had goldfish and good taste. I loved her fleshy neck. We drank sinewy Dos Equis and played mahjong. In March, I developed that cruel facial tic. That precipitated the divorce. At the thought of losing her, my heart contracted into a span. But I knew one day I'd replace her with a brutally neutered cat. This is a poem that appeared in MadHat's review. It's called Finland. When in doubt, walk around the world. When in doubt, blacken the eyes in the dictionary. When in doubt, ask tobacco. When in doubt, hack a tree. When in doubt, preen like Diedrich. When in doubt, pretend to make love. Love. Let us be faithless to one another. Let plate tectonics have the day. Let's drink to BPA and zombify ambition. Let's smoke a pot roast, mainline a mango, snort a mortgage, shoplift a kiss. Let's inculcate. Let's make baptism a sin. She, you're cute in a Gene Sibelius kind of way. He, I'd go out with you, but your Google profile is so unattractive. This next poem is called, it's a new poem, and it's going to appear in a Blue 5 notebook in June. And it's called We Don't Need No Education. You were sitting with your vexed complexion, your dour shoulders, your hoarse aloneness in the front row of my English for Unwed Mothers class. And I hadn't yet read your essay on miscarriages of injustice, nor had you read Montaigne's that men are justly punished for being obstinate in defense of a fort that is not in reason to be defended. And it wasn't yet Tuesday, 2004, when we'd be sitting on the curb in the front of the Sick Communion Cafe, where you were telling me the body is a tabernacle of bliss and blister. And the smile on my face was palpably an act. And I blurted out, there's an ill energy that emanates from your precise heart that I find attractive. To which you replied, editing me with a surgeon's cruel disinterest. You mean it's an attractive ill energy? And I said, yes, that's what I mean. Though that wasn't what I meant, no. And the sun was pursuing the moon in an ineffable dance of unlikelihood and redress. And you were wearing your father's shoes. Though I remember thinking, what large feet you had, learning later that was unfair and untrue. Learning later that your heart, like all hearts, was fuzzy, not precise. That your candor was a sham. That you were neither a mother nor unmarried. That my interest in you was usury, not interest at all. That I was a man not in full, but in foolishness. A false Montaigne, whose chin beard, though elegant, was the merest bravado. And I'll finish with a poem that some of you have heard before, and it's for all the translators in the audience. And it's called Incompetent Translation, El Desdichado by Gerard de Nerval. And I'm doing more of these, and I'm also doing a series called Inept Haiku, which maybe I'll read at a future. None of them have 3 lines, and they don't have the right syllables. Okay, so Incompetent Translation. I am the twilight's pissoir, the orphan's inclination. My star is dead, my constellation crushed. The Prince of Aquitaine has fallen and cannot rise. I am the shadow of waxwing slain. In the Outre tomb, I see the Sea of Capri, the hearse of Merci, la lune des Pantoum, la place du Caprice. Désolé, désolé, where the vinegar and the wine are one. Chérie, I am naked and red. Give me back my color and my clothes. Give me back my singularity, my tristesse, my photo ID. She sits in a gondola and burnishes her arms. She puts a piquant radish in her mouth. She grabs a loofah and wipes the rainbow from her neck. Thank you.